deal with airplane peanuts?
How long have you been a fan of Kill Tony?
Solid 2 years.
My name's Sebastian. I've been a fan of Kill Tony for a long time.
I've been a fan of Kill Tony since the beginning, since there were 15 people in the belly room. I've been going since like 2015.
How long have you been watching Kill Tony?
Not long enough. Not long enough. So I started watching Kill Tony maybe like 3-ish years ago, but I've been a fan of Tony Hinchcliffe himself and his comedy for longer than that, because I do roast battles and roast comedy, and he's like, you know, the guy.
I've been a Kill Tony fan for about a year.
The line for signups is crazy.
So what's your favorite part? What do you like best?
I like it when Tony shits on Red Band. I think that's fun.
What I like best is they say whatever they want to say.
While I was watching an episode one day, Red Band said he was going to do a secret show, like a one-day secret show in LA, and I really wanted to just go see it. And I was going through this really hard depression at that time, and I'm not going to lie, I was the kind of guy you'd hang out with, and you just think, wow, he's really miserable, I'm sad now, so I don't want to be that guy anymore. And there was a fella by the name of Casey Rocket, and he made me laugh so hard for about 7 minutes, I forgot I was sad, I almost peed my pants, I couldn't breathe, and I realized the power of comedy. It's more than just jokes. You're changing lives out there. You're changing the chemical balances of people's brains. I think that's amazing. And by the grace of God tonight, we're going to be pulled out of that bucket.
We all know what happened from the point of view of the live stream, but how is this show from your vantage point?
It was excellent. I was able to go to both the New Year's Eve shows at the H-E-B Arena, and they were great also, but I think improvements were made. I think some of the most notable improvements involved getting people on stage. There were real comedians. You know, it was great seeing people from the comic section getting pulled up, so it was great.
Well, one thing that was definitely a big talking point was the overwhelming boos when Tony brought up a potential deal with Netflix. What are people's thoughts in the Kill Tony community about a Netflix deal? Did you learn any more about that?
I found the booing baffling. I wasn't quite sure myself. And we talked, different comedians talked afterwards. Some speculated that there were a bunch of Hulu execs in the crowd. Some people thought it was just drunk silliness. But I think maybe people are worried that if Kill Tony changes, it will lose its natural homegrown feel and that anything goes feeling that it has, as some of the spontaneity. So that may be the concern, but I'm kind of excited. I like that Tony keeps going onward and upward, and I think it's probably going to be good for the show. What's good for Tony Hinchcliffe is good for Kill Tony, so it's probably going to work out.
What was your reaction to Ari's balls?
The same as it always is. I've seen his genitalia probably more than I've seen my own husband's, for sure, this last year I have. But that said, every time I see Ari's balls, I think, my husband is 20 years older than that man and has better looking testicles. I would keep them in my pants if I was Ari.
Well, before we get into the main battle, we had the best Mexican drum off of all time go down between Joel Berg, the original drummer, and Michael Gonzalez, the current drummer. Do you think that the Kill Tony fans inside Kia Forum were more old school fans or new school fans? Do you think they were happy to see Joel Berg win? What was your thoughts on the Mexican drum off? I mean, that was insane.
It was a lot like the Hans Kim, Rick Diaz thing from New Year's Eve, that the hometown crowd was clearly for Joel. Joel also had the energy. He was really going for broke. He was playing with a lot more aggressive style, where a lot of us from Austin feel like Michael Gonzalez just is not only the better drummer, he did the better job, but sometimes the best man doesn't win. The thing that may have really won it for Joel was the Ari imitation. You know, get naked and all of a sudden you're the most popular guy in the room.
Well, the battle between Hans and Rick seems to have come to an end, with Hans reigning as double champ. How did those sets feel from inside the building, and what are people saying about Hans versus Rick?
Well, there was a lot of excitement building up to it, of course. And there are a lot of Rick fans, not just among the comedians, but in general, because I spoke to people going in. Hans had more fans, but Rick still had a strong showing as far as people there to support him. However, I don't think that there was any doubt that Hans won. There were things happening that I think threw Rick, and it's unfortunate, but there was a lot of heckling and booing, and it just seemed really strange, and it was hard for him to get in the groove starting out. It definitely messed with his timing, and he was doing a character kind of comedy, he reminds me a little bit of Andy Kaufman sometimes. But Hans came with some of his strongest material. He was very offensive, which always is a win. You know, when Hans doesn't pull his punches, he does his best stuff. And he was hilarious. He was strong. And I will say he was also a lot classier in his victory. Maybe because he knew he earned it this time. I was proud of both of them. I think both of them are good for comedy, but Hans clearly won.
Well, with no more battles for regularship possible, what do you think Tony Hinchcliffe could have up his sleeve heading into Madison Square Garden?
I couldn't help but think when RFK Jr. came on that there's something there. Even though it's a little weird, the guy is about as hilarious as most politicians, which is not. But he did okay. And when he came on, we weren't sure it was him. We really thought it was Adam Ray doing RFK because Adam Ray had not yet come on as Dr. Phil. But once it clearly was RFK, it got me to thinking, how cool would it be for former President Trump to demand equal time? And at Madison Square Garden, which Trump, you know, that's his home turf, it would be so cool for him and RFK Jr. to have a battle, Hans Kim Rick style, and whoever wins the minute then can challenge the guy with the championship belt, President Biden, to the grand championship. Since it doesn't look like there are debates happening and this is a presidential election year, that would be really fun to see RFK Jr. and Donald Trump give us their best minute. I think it'd be hilarious.
Well, Karen Jones, thank you so much as always for being our boots on the ground, and hopefully we'll see you reporting live outside of Madison Square Garden sometime soon.
This is Karen Jones, correspondent for Joke World. We're here with Jared Nathan, superstar from Kill Tony, golden ticket winner, who was out here for the arena show at the Kia Forum. And I'd just like to hear from Jared. What was it like for you to be on stage at the Kia Forum?
It was incredible to be out for that many people. That epic show. It was just incredible. It was just something, a huge accomplishment that not many people would say they did. So it was huge.
What was it like backstage before, during, after the show? What was was there an excitement level? Were you seeing a lot of people that you knew or
There's
wanted
a lot
to
of
meet?
people, a lot of new faces, a lot of like executives and stuff like that.
Did you see Robert F. Kennedy Jr. backstage?
Yeah, I saw him backstage. I saw Post Malone backstage. I saw Tim Dillon backstage. A lot of people.
I saw you at the after party posing in a picture with Post Malone. Can you tell us where the after party was and some of the highlights?
It was not really the after party. We were just taking backstage after the show.
Was there anything that surprised you or seemed particularly funny in your experience out here?
It just surprised me how nice the people are. Just, yeah, nothing really.
Have you heard people talk about the Netflix deal? Are people excited about Netflix?
I haven't heard anything.
So that wasn't a topic going on?
I haven't heard anything.
Okay.
I haven't heard a thing.
And then what's your next thing that you're going to do?
I don't think the audience was excited. The audience was booing every time Netflix was mentioned, so I don't know.
Yeah, that was weird. What did you think of that?
Next is corporate. A lot of people don't like corporate. Yeah, that's what I think about that.
And what was the highlight of the show besides your own appearance and your set? What was the thing that made you most excited?
I liked the David Lucas set. I liked the drum off between Joel and Mike. I liked everything.
Did you think that the right person won in the drum off?
Joel put on a hell of an experience. So yeah, I don't know how it was organized or anything, but yeah.
And can you imagine Trump walking in with Mike Tyson? It would be something. Kid Rock, the whole deal, RFK with Cheryl Hines. That would be a real crowd pleaser, and I think that would be the match to watch for sure.
I love Joke World. He's the fucking man, dude. If y'all ain't fucking with Joke World, who are you fucking with? Joke World, can you please clip him saying that Leon is actually ugly, please?
No,
Joke World.
she's very hilarious. Clearly very pretty.